click this button and then say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
Good, yourself?
I'm swell. I'm absolutely fantastic. Order Nezu. Order Nezu. The richest mouse in the world.
Yeah, he draws all the cards.
Yeah, he's greedy with it. Hit me with a pitch. What's going on? What's going on with your super cool Nezu deck?
So I wanted to play Order, and I'm like, well, Order's got all of the answers to everything.
Yeah.
So why don't we play a character that draws a bunch of cards and swaps the bad cards for the good cards in the matchup? Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Let me EVS Ultra is being very lame. Just 1 second. It's not wanting me to set your deck as the current list, so I can throw stuff in the sideboard. So hit me with a pitch. What's going on? What's going on here?
So the other part of it was that I liked Showdown, and I wanted to play a lot of Showdown.
That is fair.
But you know, when you get Showdown on turn 2 and you've got like a bunch you need to build, you can just swap it for things like defrosting or sticky balls.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. So we're looking for 3 diffs, right? Because we want to go pick up Showdown. We're looking for 2 diffs so we can go pick up plus Ultra and Engine Trouble. Crazy playing 3 Engine Trouble. That's crazy. And then it's like a bunch of the only 4 of you're playing is Electric Jolt. I wonder why. The card seems a little good. Yeah. So what do you need my help with?
Trimming it. It's
Trimming.
messy and
how big are we talking?
the amount of
okay.
Girthy.
Okay.
So
what number are you trying to get it to? How trimmed is
I usually like 60 to 66 for a control deck.
Okay. I'm down. I think 66 is a totally fine number to shoot for. And then what's our block zones look like? Interesting. You've got so low of low blocks.
It's surprisingly easy to perfect block in this deck though, because you can just like the amount of times you have a 2, like you're holding an Engine Trouble or a plus Ultra or a 2 you haven't built, and you can just swap it in for a decent block.
Yeah.
That's the other messy part of this deck is I don't currently have a 2-diff 1+ high block. Looking at block numbers to difficulty is such a mess.
Yeah. As we take and we go and we look at blocks, right? Like your ones are here, and that's it. But then like this is your other 1. But Showdown is like, I don't know. Do we have a 1 high here? We've got Vile Seizing, right?
Yeah, Vile Seizing on 4, Bonds of Friendship on 1, Showdown cheats.
Yeah.
I also don't know if Showdown's worth it. Previous sets, like we didn't look at 3s just to keep it easier to swap between your numbers. Like we weren't playing any 3s, which.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the attack lineup first. Okay. First and foremost, I don't think you need Reciprocal Acceleration Kick. I think this card is neato. I think that this card, like, because you're playing non-kick cards, right? I like you're playing Vile Seizing and Justice Rush and Indiscriminate Shock. Indiscriminate Shock, Grasping Tape Toss. This card feels out of place here, and I think it should probably just it could just be cut to put you to 22, so that you've got 22 and 66. I don't think that this card wins you the game.
Agreed. It has the neat interaction with the combo enhance with Nezu.
Yeah.
And it is a 5 diff, which I was a little bit light on to be able to swap into the Reciprocal Burst and 1.3s for kills.
Sure. I mean, you've got
I can see it going.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be plenty, right?
Yeah.
Because like this card is just like the thing that swaps into your kill card, and this card is weird and probably shouldn't exist in your deck, but it's cool and you're playing Nezu, so you get to play one-ofs.
Yeah.
This card is next on the chopping block. I think that card does not do very much.
Agreed. I didn't know how good the card was, so I wanted to see it. And
That's
that hasn't been great.
completely fair. If they're at deadlock, you just get to murder them, right?
Oh yeah.
And so like you like Justice Rush into Vile Seizing, and you look at them and go, man, whatever. This Reciprocal Burst that I'm about to play next, you just don't get to block it. There's no chance.
Mm-hmm.
You'll die. And so yeah, I dig it. I think 22 is going to be totally fine, especially with how much draw you have and drawing that they're going to do to make you draw more. It's like you're gonna draw some hot hands.
Oh, yeah.
To just reduce numbers, I think you take Engine Trouble down to a 2 of easy. Oh, I misclicked. If you have no problem picking up the one low block and then doing the thing, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous about it. From here, it really is just like how many weird one-ofs do you want to play, right? Does Eyes of the Tiger, does that card belong in your deck? Right? Does Short Circuit belong in your main board? Right? My answer is I would rather play another copy of Fruits of Our Labors or another Self-Sacrifice because they're just better blocks than what Short Circuit is doing most of the time, especially when you have things like Plus Ultra.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
I think that like this is such a sideboard card.
That's the advantage to Nezu, is you can play some sideboard cards in the main.
Yeah.
They have that card and it just says the All Might 4 deck loses.
True. The All Might 4 deck does have. We'll have to play the yeah but game. I mean, the other thing is like this card doesn't need to exist in your deck. This card is not good.
That card is insane.
Insanely good?
Yes.
Sell me on it. Pitch me on it.
So adjusting the block zone so I can put it into a breaker block or a showdown early is great. Like it just locks them out. And flipping it to just be able to string block when I can fetch another good block with Nezu is also really good. Like you can either change it into something that stops them, or you flip it and you string block with Nezu and you like breaker one with engine block, showdown. I'm in love with this card. I think this card needs to see more play.
Interesting. Well, if this is the card that you like, what about like cutting Fulfilled My Duty?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm down for the Travel by Tape. Every time that I've played this card, when the card first came out, it was never worth the lose a ready foundation to do the thing, right?
I definitely don't remove it a lot. It is definitely more of a flip card.
Sure. Especially because, like, you're not even playing tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need to change people's block zones when I just perfect blocked anyway. I don't know. Tape is probably a miss something I missed in this deck.
Yeah, because I feel like even just like take their mid and make it slower, or take their whatever their low and make it mid, then partial block with the showdown is probably like just as it's just as good if you have instead of perfect block travel by tape. I feel like that just gets you like I'm afraid this card's gonna kill you more than it's going to whatever, just because it's the remove cost and not the flip cost. Because the other thing that tape does is it lets you commit it to pass the check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this card's just like you better have the block ready, or else like what happens when you fail the block off of travel by tape? That's like a double whammy, abysmal. Feels awful. But if you like travel by tape, I'm down to keep it. I'm down. Yeah, the only other card that I could see like cutting would be like Eyes of the Tiger. but that's just like another low block. I'm trying to get more low blocks out of your deck, and that's probably not great. How often is Can't Escape Me feeling good?
It feels okay. Like,
Okay.
that deadlock is scary. Like, that plus 1.3 is just the lethal attack.
Yeah. Thoughts on making this the one of? Specifically because it doesn't have a remove cost, it has a destroy cost. So if you need it, you need to go grab it back, you just can, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this card feels very good versus like the one card that I like this card versus is Specialized Sound Waves. That's pretty much it. They go to the stack their thing and you just tell them no. No, I don't think so. Sorry, dude, you don't get to draw your card.
Yeah, and leave that 2-check on top.
Yeah, leave that 2-check on top for me. What does this look like? 70? I don't know how many blood curdles you're playing.
2 on the board.
16. Okay, let's go look at block zones. Let's go look at mids and highs. Dissolving the conflict could be a one of, since the justice could probably just leave.
Yeah, I've not been impressed with Sense of Justice this set.
It is. I think it takes a really special deck wanting to do very much this thing, and I don't think this is what this deck is trying to do. And then we can find some mids, right? Requesting, shock treatment, passing. We have to keep sticky balls into frosting because that goes and lets you pick up the showdowns, right? Oh, I put this in your main board. You don't. Which now means we get to go look at this. 68. This is a cleaner deck. This is technically cut. It's not where you want it to be, but it's cut. We could do something like, let's go back to our block zones real fast. We could take like passing and drop it down to a 2 of, if we're really trying to make it nice and lean. I know that doesn't feel amazing, but like, but like just because of how many different options you have, I don't see it's either we. The cards that you have, most of the cards you have at 2 ofs need to stay at 2 ofs, right? When we take them, let's go back and look at our quantity, right? Heroic Lineage, it's weird to make it a 1 of. Ice Gliding, probably should be a 4 of, but we've got other weird cards. Travel by Tape, Fruits of Our Labors. We could cut Fruits down to a 1 of, but it's a low block. And so like we would cut the 1 Fruits and then I tell you to put Self-Sack up to a 4 of. Dissolving the Conflict, this could be the 1 of. This could be a 1 of if you wanted it to be.
I find having 2 of that against decks is just good. The amount of times someone can throw a second lethal attack is a lot more than they can throw the third lethal.
I agree with you. I agree fully. Which means then like let's go to the other end of the equation. That means we get to cut the 1 ofs, right? Shock Treatment. Is this card working out for you? This plus Jolt on your turn is Selective Stun 3. Incredible. Short Circuit. It's the reset. It's a low block. We can't cut the 3 diffs, or we get to cut 1 of them. My vote would be on defrosting. We just cut Can't Escape Me. Does it leave altogether? League Invitation. Should be at a 3 of. We don't have room. Eyes of the Tiger. I think this card is not very good. It should be cut for another self-sack.
I'm still just wondering if the 3 diff package is worthwhile. Like, is Showdown that good? That's my question.
I think Showdown early is incredible, right? But that means that you have to check it and have not built one of your power cards, right? Sitting here with the sticky balls in hand feels bad. I want to play sticky balls. I don't want to discard sticky balls. Having League Invitation on board is just a copy of Electric Jolt, right? An Electric Jolt that I didn't have to hit with. It's either stun them 2 on their turn, right? Or I Electric Jolt them. This card's nuts. This card's correct. It is better than Citywide Crisis. It's better than a lot of your other high blocks, but at the same time, we're playing a lot of 3 diffs, and so like you get stuck with a hand of 3 diffs and you don't get billed.
Yeah, fair.
From there, we go to the other end of the equation, and we look at our 3 ofs, right? Which is Requesting Assistance, Gotcha, Passing, Self-Sack, Desperate Times. Of the ones we get to cut a card, it's just Passing. We're not allowed to cut the 0s and 1s.
Yeah.
And then our 4s are it's a 1/6 1 high and then a 1/5 3 mid. You could cut calling for backup down to a 2 of if you wanted to, but is calling for backup better than passing if you had to make a 1 card cut?
I'd say passing's better, but it's a question of what spam I'm at. Like how many
let's
2s plus 1s?
A lot. You have a lot of 2s, but I think they're all like a bunch of 1s. So I think.
I feel like we could go down to calling.
24 out of your. This would be 23 of 41. I mean, this is a fine number.
Yeah, 23 or 40.
This is 67. 67 is an acceptable number. The only if we were stuck on 66, like I have to get 66, that's the max. It's just defrosting. This is just the weakest card in your deck, especially with like the only throw being grasping. Feels incredible on grasping. Feels okay everywhere else.
Yeah. No, I find that +2 speed on a 1.3 is oftentimes enough.
I mean, we can keep it. It's that is okay.
It and sticky balls are both a 2+ mid.
Sticky ball says it's -4 to non-range, and it also says that like it's +1 speed to every attack as opposed to +2 speed. Where'd you go? +2 speed to 1 attack.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
no,
is
I'm behind that.
once per game to do that. This is once per turn to do this.
It's less once per game for sticky balls than it should be because of the ability to swap into it and get it out of your face downs with self-sack.
Sure.
It's neat. A lot of neat lines in this deck. Yeah, we could go down to defrosting.
Okay. The other option, and this is crazy. You can just run it at this and then see which one you like. Right? Just like keep mental track and be like, I get that I'm a little heavier foundation-wise than I want to be. So which of these foundations is doing the work? Right? Because my personal opinion, this is too many 1-ofs even in your super cool Nezu character.
It's fair.
Like, this guy gets to play the most 1-ofs, and that most 1-ofs should probably be 5 and not 10 like you have, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excuse me. Like, do you need shock treatment, short circuit? Like, do you need all of these 1-ofs? Is shock treatment better than what League Invitation is doing? The answer is no. This thing says selectively commit a card. This thing says selectively commit a card. How often do you want to discard the momentum for it? This is a 2, but this is a 3. This is a mid. This is a high. This has another ability that says +2 speed.
Yeah.
And so, like, and is it better to? So here's the question, right? Everybody looks at Nezu, goes, "Oh shit, I can go pick up my 1-ofs." But what if I played all 4-ofs? And I go, if I want to have 4 ice gliding on my board, I can. If I want to have 4 self sacks, I'll have them.
Hadn't considered that angle.
Yeah. Everybody sees this guy and goes, "Yo, he's I get to play really really wide stuff." Instead, you go, "Oh, this is the hole in my opponent's armor is they can't deal with heroic lineage. I'll go snag 4 heroic lineages. I don't need Eye of the Tiger or Travel by Tape. I'm just gonna snag heroics and build up my stage that way." Man, I've got 4 Dissolving the Conflict on turn 3 because, you know, I drew 2, checked 2. All right. I'll never die, right? How much have you played this copy of the list? Or not, obviously not this copy, but like your original order list.
You played it once during the marathon.
Okay.
And it was okay. I've played it about 2 or 3 times. Not a whole lot for this exact iteration.
Sure.
I played a bunch of Nezu because he's the most fun character in the game, I think.
Okay. I respect that.
You just get You just get to have really intricate and interesting lines, and I love that.
Yeah. Big brain wrinkler, Nezu is.
Oh
for
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, this is probably where I would leave it. If you like all the diverse gameplay that you could possibly have, is probably where I would be. And just test it out and be like, yo, currently shock treatment is a good card and defrosting is a bad card. Can't escape me never gets triggered, so why is it in my main board, right? And just like figure out what that looks like. Fruits of Our Labors. I've never played this card ever. People keep sprinting in a deadlock and they're not caring, so this card should just leave. You know, there's lots of different options. I don't talk about sideboards at all. What is this card doing in here?
I don't know. I always put that card into sideboards because it seems like it should do something.
Oh.
It is also another 3 diff.
It is quote unquote weighing your sideboard down. This is a bad card. You should take it out and rip up every copy you own. If this card couldn't stop Asui from killing people, it's not stopping whatever you think it's doing.
It's fair.
The only time that this card is acceptable at all is if you are playing against Life Muscular and they have 10 counters. That is the only time that this card is even remotely acceptable, and if you're losing to that deck as Nezu, something has gone horrifically wrong.
Oh, you say that. This deck pokes a lot.
You should be able to go and perfect block everything that he does, right? Because you just go and pick up the thing that you need. He's a 5-hander. Anytime that he draws, you draws to get the extra whatever.
You definitely can, but like, he's not blocking your 5/2 indiscriminate shocks or your jolts.
True. Yeah.
Or the high engine kicks. You're trying to reciprocal burst him in that matchup from memory.
Yeah.
Mm.
Be cool to have 4 heroic lineage then, huh? Can we just cut Eye of the Tiger for a 3rd lineage? Is that a thing we can do? We're allowed to do that legally?
I think we're allowed to do that.
I love that. Love
2
that.
of them on the board cover.
Hey. Alright. Yeah, that's probably where I'd leave it. Run at the 67 and see what it is that you're liking / not liking, and go from there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Welcome. Alright, man.
Thank you.
Stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list, and you have a rest of your night, okay?
Same to you.
Alright, we'll see ya.